This is my fifth such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. We won the popular vote by big numbers and won counties in our country. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements.
Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat.
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Hey y'all, this is Tiffany on Bonie's View. Welcome to the third episode of My Take. Today, we're breaking down 7 key moments from President Trump's address to the nation and Congress at the State of the Union. From my perspective, no sugarcoating here, just the facts and the fire, straight from the heart of a real America First perspective.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you very much. Speaker Johnson, Vice President Vance, the First Lady of the United States.
It was an opportunity for President Trump to list his early wins since taking office, and trust me, he didn't miss. Meanwhile, the Democrats, well, all they could do was whine, throw tantrums, and make a spectacle of themselves in the process. But what's new, right? Let's dive into these moments, because you won't hear these takes anywhere else. It was clear from the get-go that the Democrats weren't having it. And by it, I mean anything Trump had to say. As soon as the president entered the chamber, House and Senate Democratic leaders couldn't even muster the decency to greet him. They turned their backs, refused to shake his hand, and even Rep. Melanie Stansbury had the audacity to hold up a "this is not normal" sign. Yeah, right. Melanie, like the 4 years under Biden was normal, right? Until someone hilariously snatched it away from her. But you know what? Trump wasn't fazed. He called it early. There's nothing I can say to make them happy. Stand, smile, or applaud.
This is my fifth such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. I could find a cure to the most devastating disease, a disease that would wipe out entire nations, or announce the answers to the greatest economy in history, or the stoppage of crime to the lowest levels ever recorded. And these people sitting right here will not clap, will not stand, and certainly will not cheer for these astronomical achievements. They won't do it, no matter what. Five times I've been up here. It's very sad, and it just shouldn't be this way.
And he was spot on. The entire speech was met with a mixed bag of protests, and at one point, Rep. Al Green, who can't stand the fact that Trump's doing things Democrats could only dream of, interrupted the speech. He started waving his cane and shouting at the president, forcing Speaker Mike Johnson to have him escorted out. It was a mess, but Trump handled it with his usual calm, pushing forward despite the drama. Well, if you've been wondering what Trump derangement syndrome is, there you have it. But if you still need a worded definition, I will give it a try. Trump derangement syndrome, TDS, a condition triggered by any mention of Trump, causing symptoms such as uncontrollable outrage, impaired judgment, and sudden media outbursts. Side effects may include excessive tweeting, compulsive fact-checking of memes, and an inability to recognize positive outcomes linked to his policies. The condition worsens with Trump's successes, often leading to doomsday predictions and reality denial. No known cure, only temporary relief through selective ignorance and avoiding all Trump-related discussions. I believe you've got that now, huh?
Ever recorded a 41-point jump.
Members are directed to uphold and maintain decorum in the House and to cease any further disruptions. That's your warning. Members are engaging in willful and continuing breach of decorum, and the chair is prepared to direct the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order to the joint session. Mr. Green, take your seat. Take your seat, sir. Take your seat. Finding that members continue to engage in willful and concerted disruption of proper decorum, the chair now directs the Sergeant-at-Arms to restore order. Remove this gentleman from the chamber.
Even though some Republicans and, of course, Democrats have criticized Musk's moves, Trump wasn't backing down. He highlighted the incredible work being done to clean up the system.
To further combat inflation, we will not only be reducing the cost of energy, but we'll be ending the flagrant waste of taxpayer dollars. And to that end, I have created the brand new Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps. Which is headed by Elon Musk, who is in the gallery tonight.
It's a message the Democrats didn't want to hear. But let's face it, Musk's making waves in a way that's long overdue. And to see Trump acknowledging the need to tackle government inefficiency head-on, that's a win for every taxpayer.
Thank you, Elon. He's working very hard. He didn't need this. He didn't need this. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Everybody here, even this side, appreciates it, I believe. They just don't want to admit that. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. A $3.5 million consulting contract for lavish fish monitoring.
You can see Elon nodding his head in agreement. He was definitely loving that. Who wouldn't want the president highlighting and commending his hard work for the whole world to see? Huh.
$40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $8 million for making mice transgender. This is real.
Even though the Democrats and the lamestream media tried to drive a wedge between President Trump and his first buddy, Musk, Calling Musk the shadow president, this just proves they're still going strong. Trump saw right through their mischievous plot.
Under the Trump administration, all of these scams, and they're far worse, but I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about them. They're so bad. Many more have been found out and exposed and swiftly terminated by a group of very intelligent, mostly young people, headed up by Elon, and we appreciate it. We found hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud.
And look at that. Musk even showed up in a suit. Can you believe that? That was probably a jab at Zelensky. Who knows? One of the biggest applause lines came when Trump celebrated early victories on border enforcement. He didn't need Congress to get results. All he needed was to be a strong leader and have the will to do what needed to be done.
Within hours of taking the oath of office, I declared a national emergency on our southern border, and I deployed the U.S. military and Border Patrol to repel the invasion of our country. And what a job they've done. As a result, illegal border crossings last month were by far the lowest ever recorded, ever.
Turns out all we really needed was a new president. He quipped, and the Republicans in the room loved it. Meanwhile, Democrats couldn't even bring themselves to clap. Of course, we know they love the illegals much more than Americans.
They heard my words and they chose not to come. Much easier that way. In comparison, under Joe Biden, the worst president in American history, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal crossings a month.
The reality is, Trump's been building the foundation for stronger border enforcement, and the results are undeniable. Whether the left likes it or not, the president's commitment to securing the border is paying off.
And virtually all of them, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, and people from mental institutions and insane asylums, were released into our country. Who would want to do that?
And according to recent polls, most Americans are right behind him. Democrats can whine about it all they want, but the facts are on Trump's side here. In a stunning moment that had the room buzzing, Trump announced the arrest of one of the terrorists responsible for the Abbey Gate attack in Afghanistan. The news was delivered with poise and confidence, a reminder of just how far Trump has pushed to ensure that America's enemies face justice.
America is once again standing strong against the forces of radical Islamic terrorism. 3.5 years ago, ISIS terrorists killed 13 American service members and countless others in the Abbey Gate bombing during the disastrous and incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan. Not that they were withdrawing, it was the way they withdrew. Tonight, I am pleased to announce that we have just apprehended the top terrorist responsible for that atrocity, and he is right now on his way here to face the swift sword of American justice.
In Mohammed Sharif Fallah, the U.S. now has in custody a key figure in 3 major terror attacks, including the deadly August 2021 suicide bombing targeting U.S. soldiers at Abbey Gate in Afghanistan that killed 13 U.S. military service members and 160 civilians as the U.S. sought to withdraw from that country.
People. I spoke to many of the parents and loved ones, and they're all in our hearts tonight. Just spoke to them on the phone. We had a big call. Every one of them called, and everybody was on the line, and they did nothing but cry with happiness. They were very happy, as happy as you can be under those circumstances.
This was no small deal. This was a manhunt brought to a close and a victory for the families of those affected by the tragic loss. As Trump said, this terrorist is now on his way to face the swift sword of American justice. And you better believe that's a message we want the world to hear. Now, here's a heartwarming moment that even the hardest critics couldn't ignore. Or you would think so. Trump honored a 13-year-old cancer survivor, DJ Daniel, who had dreams of becoming a police officer. The president surprised the boy by making him an honorary Secret Service agent and presenting him with a badge.
Joining us in the gallery tonight is a young man who truly loves our police. His name is DJ Daniel. He is 13 years old, and he has always dreamed of becoming a police officer. But in 2018, DJ was diagnosed with brain cancer. The doctors gave him 5 months at most to live. That was more than 6 years ago. Since that time, DJ and his dad have been on a quest to make his dream come true, and DJ has been sworn in as an honorary law enforcement officer, actually a number of times. The police love him, the police departments love him. And tonight, DJ, we're going to do you the biggest honor of them all. I am asking our new Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, to officially make you an agent of the United States Secret Service.
How's that for a reaction? Look, I am not crying. I'm just chopping up some onions. This is so heartwarming. Isn't he adorable? Look, DJ, you are here for a reason. And boy, God's got your back. While some Democrats had already stormed out of the room in protest, this moment should have been a chance for everyone to come together. But instead, Republicans stood and cheered the boy on, while Democrats sat with stone-faced expressions, choosing to inject politics into an emotional moment that was all about a young boy's resilience. It's disappointing to see such pettiness, especially in a moment meant to honor a brave child. This young boy fought for his life and is now being recognized for his bravery and determination. But to see the Democrats refuse to acknowledge him was shameful. Trump's ability to bring these emotional moments to the table highlights a side of him that doesn't often get the spotlight in mainstream media. It's a reminder that some moments are bigger than politics, but the left couldn't resist making this one about their hate for Trump. This was another powerful moment. Trump recognized the family of Laken Riley, a Georgia nursing student who was tragically murdered by an illegal immigrant.
Last year, a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named Laken Riley, the best in her class, admired by everybody, went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia. That morning, Laken was viciously attacked, assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and horrifically murdered. Laken was stolen from us by a savage illegal alien gang member who was arrested while trespassing across Biden's open southern border and then set loose into the United States under the heartless policies of that failed administration. It was indeed a failed administration. He had then been arrested and released in a Democrat-run sanctuary city, a disaster, before ending the life of this beautiful young angel. With us this evening are Laken's beloved mother, Allison, and her sister, Lauren.
The president didn't just give a nod. He brought Laken's mother and sister into the First Lady's box, emphasizing the importance of securing the border to prevent further tragedies like this one.
Last year, I told Laken's grieving parents that we would ensure their daughter would not have died in vain. That's why the very first bill I signed into law as your 47th president mandates the detention of all dangerous criminal aliens who threaten public safety. It's a very strong, powerful act. It's called the Laken-Riley Act. So Allison and Lauren, America will never, ever forget our beautiful Laken Hope Riley.
And Trump didn't stop there.
But there still is much work to be done. Here tonight is a woman I have gotten to know, Alexis Nungari from Houston. Wonderful woman. Last June, Alexis's 12-year-old daughter, her precious Jocelyn, walked to a nearby convenience store. She was kidnapped, tied up, assaulted for 2 hours under a bridge, and horrifically murdered. Arrested and charged with this heinous crime are two illegal alien monsters from Venezuela, released into America by the last administration through their ridiculous open border. The death of this beautiful 12-year-old girl and the agony of her mother and family touched our entire nation greatly.
He signed an executive order renaming a national wildlife refuge in honor of another victim, Jocelyn Nungari, a young girl murdered by two illegal migrants.
Alexis, I promised that we would always remember your daughter, your magnificent daughter, and earlier tonight I signed an order keeping my word to you. One thing I have learned about Jocelyn is that she loved animals so much. She loved nature. Across Galveston Bay, from where Jocelyn lived in Houston, you will find a magnificent national wildlife refuge, a pristine, peaceful, 34,000-acre sanctuary for all of God's creatures on the edge of the Gulf of America. Alexis, moments ago, I formally renamed that refuge in loving memory of your beautiful daughter, Jocelyn. So, Mr. Vice President, if you would, may I have the order? Thank you very much.
But here's the kicker. While Trump was acknowledging the victims and their families, Democrats, they couldn't even bring themselves to stand in recognition of these grieving families. Trump's aides called it out, rightfully calling it callousness. And let's be real, that was a low point for the left. In the final moment of his speech, Trump sent a clear message regarding Ukraine. He's not opposed to diplomacy or negotiations. In fact, Trump revealed that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had sent a letter asking to reopen negotiations, and Trump was open to the idea.
I'm also working tirelessly to end the savage conflict in Ukraine. Millions of Ukrainians and Russians have been needlessly killed or wounded in this horrific and brutal conflict with no end in sight. Earlier today, I received an important letter from President Zelensky of Ukraine. The letter reads, Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiating table as soon as possible to bring lasting peace closer. Nobody wants peace more than the Ukrainians, he said. My team and I stand ready to work under President Trump's strong leadership to get a peace that lasts. We do really value how much America has done to help Ukraine maintain its sovereignty and independence. Regarding the agreement on minerals and security, Ukraine is ready to sign it at any time that is convenient for you. I appreciate that he sent this letter, just got it a little while ago.
Trump knows that the endless cycle of war isn't the solution. He made it clear that to end wars, you need to talk to both sides. And when the Democrats clapped at Biden's funding for Ukraine, Trump fired back, saying, "You want to keep it going for another 5 years?" That line, aimed at Pocahontas, Senator Elizabeth Warren, had the room buzzing and reminded everyone that Trump isn't afraid to speak truth to power. He's looking at long-term peace, not endless conflicts.
The United States has sent hundreds of billions of dollars to support Ukraine's defense, with no security, with no anything. Do you want to keep it going for another 5 years? Yeah, you would say Pocahontas says yes. "2,000 people are being killed every single week. More than that. They're Russian young people. They're Ukrainian young people. They're not Americans. But I want it to stop."
There you have it, 7 key moments that shaped the narrative of Trump's State of the Union address. A speech full of wins for the American people and plenty of cringeworthy moments for the Democrats. As always, Trump kept it bold, unapologetic, and on message. And no matter how much they tried to throw tantrums, it's clear. President Trump is here to stay and ready to fight for America's future for the rest of his term. As President Trump continues to champion an America First agenda, let's remember, it's not just a slogan. It's a commitment to putting our country at the forefront. Thanks for tuning in to my take. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to help us reach 500 subs. Check out our other content, and I'll catch you next time with more insights, more truth, and of course, more America First commentary. Stay tuned, and remember, don't let the mainstream media dictate your view. Make your own.